Hello everyone and welcome to my CS24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Curse of Oak Island preview. The guys believe they've hit the Chappell vault at the Money Pit. The Curse of Oak Island is back on Tuesday as the Fellowship of the Dig suspect they've encountered the infamous Chappell vault, and there's a new structure uncovered at the swamp. This week, the borehole drill team, led by geologist Terry Matheson, has some very exciting news. In recent weeks, the guys have been exploring a void or cavern known as Aladdin's Cave, where they believe treasure may be buried. However, a preview for tonight suggests the guys have hit another void at 183 feet, somewhere within the area of the Money Pit. It's not clear if they've started digging elsewhere away from Aladdin's Cave, though that is a possibility as the Laginas want to put a large caisson over the cave, meaning the drill team would need to make room. It is clear that they've hit a void at 183 feet, and when Rick asked Terry if he thought they hit the anomaly, he responded, "What we have here is a void that encapsulates Chappell's structure." The elusive Chappell Vault is the name often given to an entire excavation project conducted by William Chappell in the 1930s. He reportedly recovered numerous artifacts and even encountered a suspected vault that had entered Oak Island lore, coveted by the guys. Will the Oak Island team recover treasure from the Chappell Vault in the Money Pit? The admittedly always overexcitable Jack Begley responded to Terry by claiming, "That's the treasure of the Money Pit that was never recovered." But how wonderful would it be if they had encountered the elusive vault and it's full of treasure? All progress at the garden shaft came to a screeching halt a few weeks ago, and that doesn't look like changing anytime soon as the Dumas miners focus all their energies on stopping the flow of floodwater. That means the whole show will shift focus as the guys look for other areas to explore. The swamp has become a vital area once again after the government permits came through a couple of weeks ago, allowing guys to restart digging. They hope to uncover more of the ancient stone roadway and maybe a wharf. Oak Island guys find a new structure beside the stone roadway in the swamp. And judging from a preview, the guys find something of major significance tonight. They appear to have found a brand new structure. It's currently unknown if this new find is connected to another structure or if it's independent. Unlike the wharf and the roadway, this appears to be made of wood instead of stone. Perhaps it is linked to the theory that an ancient Spanish galleon is buried in the swamp. Hopefully, we will find out tonight if this new structure gives us some answers or poses more questions. The sun had barely broken the horizon when the Oak Island team gathered at the edge of the Money Pit. A low mist clung to the ground, curling around boots and drilling equipment, as if the island itself was holding its breath. The early morning air was tense, the kind of tension that has followed the Lagina brothers for over a decade of searching. But today felt different, almost electric. For years, the legend of the Chappell Vault has been the holy grail of Oak Island treasure lore. First hinted at in the 1930s by drill samples that recovered bits of gold chain and fragments of parchment, the vault was said to be a stone-walled chamber hidden deep underground, containing treasures of unimaginable value. Many had tried to find it, Robert Dunfield, Dan Blankenship, and countless others, but the island's flood tunnels and stubborn geology had turned every attempt into heartbreak. But now, Marty Lagina stood over the borehole known as OC1, eyes fixed on the sonic drill rig as it hummed into action. He had that mix of skepticism and hope etched across his face, a look that viewers have come to know well. "I've seen a lot of promising signs before," Marty admitted, "but what we're getting now, it's hard not to feel like we're right on top of something." Rick Lagina, as always, was quieter, his gaze steady as he listened to the deep vibrations resonating through the drill stem. "If this is what we think it is," Rick said almost to himself, "it could change everything we know about the Money Pit." The geotechnical team had good reason to be optimistic. Over the past week, the drill had brought up wood that carbon dated to the late 1600s, centuries before any recorded modern digging. Even more telling were the thin layers of concrete-like material that shouldn't naturally exist in Oak Island soil. The theory? The team had intersected some sort of engineered structure. When the drill reached 160 feet, the tension peaked. Craig Tester, the team's engineer and eternal voice of reason, reviewed the core samples with a careful eye. "This isn't just random debris," he noted, pointing to the thick, blackened timber wedged between layers of dense clay. "This wood has been worked, flattened, fitted, and below it there's a gap, possibly a chamber." That gap was the moment everything shifted. The drill's pressure suddenly dropped, a sign it had broken into a void. The sonic rig operators exchanged glances. "We're through something," one of them muttered. Jack Begley, who had been hovering nearby, couldn't contain his excitement. "This is it, guys. We're in the vault." His voice cracked, whether from excitement or disbelief. The next core run brought up something even more tantalizing. Shards of what appeared to be pottery, their surfaces faintly glazed. Alongside them were flecks of yellow metal embedded in a dark, almost cement-like matrix. The metal was so fine it could have been dismissed as pyrite, fool's gold, if not for Gary Drayton's keen eye. Gary, Oak Island's ever-enthusiastic metal detecting expert, examined the flecks with a jeweler's loupe and grinned. "That's the real deal," he declared. "That's gold, mate. I'd bet my detector on it." By mid-morning, the dig site had transformed into a hub of activity. Survey equipment beeped, drones buzzed overhead, and the team huddled around maps of the money pit area, plotting the vault's possible dimensions. Rick's cautious optimism began to crack into a genuine smile. "We've chased this thing for so long," he said, glancing at Marty. "If we're right, we might be standing over the very spot where they sealed away whatever they were trying to protect hundreds of years ago." Of course, the Oak Island team knows better than anyone that the island has a way of guarding its secrets. Flood tunnels, collapses, and false leads have been part of the game since the first discovery in 1795. The big question was whether they could access this newly discovered void without triggering disaster. Drilling deeper into the chamber risked destabilizing it. If it truly was the Chappell vault, they could inadvertently cause it to collapse, burying its contents beyond recovery. Craig, ever the pragmatist, suggested a slow and careful approach. "We map the void first, run the muon tomography scans. Let's get a 3D image before we even think about opening it." Marty nodded, but couldn't hide the gleam in his eyes. "And then we go in," he said firmly. "We've waited long enough."